A number of years ago, I was coaching a primary school soccer team. All of the players had been playing for years in their respective club teams when I pulled them together to form a school first 11 to play against other schools. In our first match of the season, we came up against a team with an extraordinary player. He was taller by far than any other player on the field, which actually called into question the legitimacy of his age, but that's another story altogether. And he was better by far than any of my players. As a result, he not only dominated the scoring with 5 or 6 goals to his name, but he was such a source of encouragement and inspiration to his teammates that we struggled in every facet of the game. It was clear that we needed to have a game plan that relied on teamwork more than ability, because we were clearly not the best team in terms of skill. It became apparent in the training and games intervening that none of my players were capable of player-to-player marking of the other team's top player. What I required was someone who could stick like glue to the opposition's playmaker at all times, and it was clear to me that my players weren't used to that style of defence and would continually get distracted by the ball in play. Having analysed the team, I knew I had to look outside of the team for such a resource, but I had already run trials and I knew that I had the best players in the school already in the squad. The solution was to bring in a player who would not be distracted by anything else apart from marking that key player. So I engaged the services of one of the school's best rugby players, whom I knew had some degree of skill when it came to soccer, and charged him with only one task: to stick to the opposition's best player like glue. My poor rugby player came off the field for the half-time break when we played them almost in tears, despite the fact he was doing exactly what had been asked of him and doing it really well. Fighting back the tears, he said to me, "Mr. Sharkey, he's been so angry with me and has been swearing at me the whole first half, and I don't know if I can handle it any longer. I really don't know what I'm doing wrong." I explained to him that nothing could be further from the truth. It was because he was giving the opposition's best player absolutely no room to play that the player was getting so frustrated by not being able to dominate the game. I encouraged my rugby playing ring-in and the rest of the team just to continue doing exactly what we were doing, because we were definitely on track for a better result than our first match against them. Our imported player did 2 things for the sake of the team. Firstly, he played a sport which is not his preferred sport. And secondly, he forgot about playing the game and focused on sticking with his opponent. That meant for the rest of the team that they could get on with their jobs of defending and attacking as per usual. We ended up winning the game by a significant margin, with a key player failing to score a single goal and ultimately coming off the pitch before full time, with his frustration getting the better of him. We had won not because of our individual or even corporate ability, but because we had faced a challenge after the first match that we believed we could overcome, changed our game plan, and used our team to create our own disruption, which culminated in a far better outcome. And the rugby player's name? Sam Slaughter. It's the understanding of the need for cohesive teamwork in order to achieve corporate goals that I bring to any team building day, and what generates comments from those workshops such as, "That's the best day we've spent together by far." This was the comment made as the participants from a large, geographically dispersed team were leaving from a day's team building set around state of the nation updates from business unit leaders. Whether it be a 2-hour mini team building event built around a simulation of workplace communication, or a full day of team building activities interspersed with training content, I can guarantee you a memorable, fun, and most importantly, meaningful experience. Team building days are often built on in-depth conversation with senior leadership prior to the event to clearly ascertain the targets for the day, especially how do you as a business want to see your people thinking or acting differently as a result of this day. Also, these targets become the building blocks for choosing entertaining but significant activities which build team spirit but also cause people to reflect on how great teams think and act. You know, some of the most popular team building content that I'm asked to deliver during these days include considering my behavioral style and those of my teammates. This is a humorous but insightful look at some of the behavioral style barriers to effective team performance. I get asked to teach on above and below the line thinking. This would be my most sought after piece of content to deliver, not just on team building days, but in many other training programs and keynotes. I get asked how to manage courageous conversations and healthy conflict. You know, it's important also for me to be clear on the key messages from senior management that need to be conveyed during the team day, to understand the purpose of these messages and to agree on the appropriate mode of delivery and placement in the program. Call me to discuss how we can get the most out of your next team building event.